Mario Maker 2 has just received its final major update, which makes me think that the game is pretty much done now. Now, of course, there could still be some minor updates to add some small things here and there, but for the most part, it looks like Mario Maker 2 has had its stride. It's done, and it's pretty much over with. The game is complete. Now, with that said, we gotta think about the future of Mario Maker and where it's going to go. Is there ever gonna be paid DLC? Probably not, but the question is, what's the next game in the franchise? Because clearly Mario Maker is making a lot of attention with YouTubers, with viewers, with players, with everybody around the world. People love some Mario Maker. So the question is, where is Mario Maker 3 going to go with this game? Are they going to do something completely different, or are they going to stay to the status quo and continue to move on? So I separated this video into two different parts. First, a 2D Mario Maker 3, which would just be the same exact thing, with more styles, more gameplay, more enemies, just more of everything, and then a 3D version, and how Nintendo could possibly revolutionize gaming once again with a 3D Mario Maker. But of course, before we get started, and before we start talking about these things, make sure you leave a like on the video if you enjoyed today. It helps me out a lot, and subscribe if you guys are new to stay up to date on all things Nintendo. If you guys would also hit that notification bell to be updated whenever I post, that would be awesome. Starting off looking at a basic 2D Mario Maker coming up, first thing they would need to add is just simply more things. And right now I'm talking about more enemies and more items. I know less is more, but more enemies and power-ups bring more, unique levels from creators and more attention to details. So there needs to be more enemies. There are still tons of enemies that have not been touched and items to be added to the game. This is probably a given. I don't think they would ever go back on the number of enemies and power-ups that they put into the game. It'll be more of a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate approach where they continue to add more and more and more and pile on. Maybe it'll be a Mario Maker Ultimate. Who knows? We need more game styles. And whatever the next Mario Maker is, I think it's kind of hard for them to just come in with one new game style. They did that with Mario Maker 2, and I felt like it was a little lackluster. I always thought there was going to be another one added later on, especially with that little space in between the game slots, but it looks like we did not get another one. And there just needed to be more than one. One just did not fill the cut, and I think there's still tons of potential for big 3D games to be put into 2D, such as 64, Sunshine, Galaxy, and of course, Super Mario Odyssey. I think Mario Odyssey makes the most sense. I've said this time and time again in multiple of my videos, because being able to transform into enemies opens up levels in a brand new way. People will design levels based not only on Mario, but also on Goombas. Maybe they'll transform you into a Koopa Troopa. Maybe you have to get through the level as a Cheep Cheep, and so on and so forth. And that would expand how gameplay works for Mario Maker 2. And maybe that's the whole kind of scheme for Mario Maker 2. Maybe it's not just a Mario Maker game, and I'll get to that in a second. But if there is an Odyssey 2, I can definitely see this happening to not only promote that game, but I think at that point Mario Odyssey will become an established part of the Mario franchise. Now, I think Mario Maker 3 needs to do something completely different. It needs to step out of its norm and try something that I was trying to mention earlier. And instead of the Mystery Mushroom costumes coming back, giving the character different costumes based on different IPs from Nintendo, add a whole slew of new characters from Nintendo, such as Kirby with the suction and float abilities, Samus with her blaster and morph ball, Star Fox with his R-Wing, and even the ability to fly and shoot. There's so much potential for this, and just like they did with Link, it's very possible that they could do this, because I know at its core this will still be a Mario Maker game. You'll have the Mario Maker styles, the Mario Maker backgrounds, the themes, everything, but it will still be able to play as different characters throughout Nintendo's franchise, and I think this would be for the best. I know it's kind of weird to have these characters in a Mario Maker, but they did it with Mario Kart, with Link, with Animal Crossing, with Splatoon. We've seen this, and Nintendo, people love this. People love to make design courses, and with those Mystery Mushroom costumes, people still did this. Even though you couldn't suck up people with Kirby, you still had Kirby, and you could still design a world that looked like his. Yes, it would make Mario Maker feel like Nintendo Maker, but like I said, it will still be a Mario game at its core. I just think this would be a cool little thing to add. We are on Mario Maker 3, and I think we've seen everything that Mario Maker has to bring at the table. The only other things that they could bring is some more details, some more themes, some more styles, and some more enemies. Just more, and just keep piling up on this game. But even though that would be fun and be pretty cool, I don't think piling up is enough to make Mario Maker 3 feel anything near as different than the first two. And lastly, for another 2D Mario Maker, it just needs to be more customizable. There needs to be options for themes and music and backgrounds to be customized. Maybe you could mix themes like I've said in the video before, or maybe you can add different music from across the Mario franchise, and maybe you can even edit and make your own backgrounds to make the game more personal to creators and unique to them and them only. Now maybe you don't actually make the background yourself, but you have a whole page of different choices that you can put in the background to make the level look different. Maybe there's like 20 to 30 different choices for each theme that you can put behind the level so that it has a different feel, a different look, and a different approach, and maybe it matches the theme that the creator was going for in the first place. Maybe they want to have kind of like a Japan Oriental style stage, and the only way to do that is to have the like nice sliding doors and the gong in the background. That could be something that would be really cool, and like I said, I will also touch on this topic a lot more if you guys want me to. But outside of backgrounds, there's still tons of themes that people have been asking for, from volcano to beach. There's still stuff for Nintendo to implement. So I think once they get those out of the way, like the mountainous theme still hasn't been added. So these are still things that could be added to the next Mario Maker for sure. But even with that said, it's still not enough to make this game feel like a brand new title and something worth getting if you already had the first two. Well, this next thing I'm about to talk about, this next category of what this game could very well be revolutionary and something that Nintendo has never done before. Really, not much of any game has ever done before. Now, what if, and I'm saying what if, Nintendo goes out on a limb here and does something completely crazy and wild and something that we never expected, where Nintendo pulls out all the stops to create a 3D Mario Maker with maybe only 2 to 3 themes, but it's still a 3D Mario Maker. I don't think that really matters. If you just only have 2 or 3 themes but can create these awesome 3D levels in this giant open plane, that would be incredible. Now, I don't know if Nintendo has the hardware capabilities to even do that yet. The technology, is that even a thing? Well, we see games just as with the PlayStation Dreams, where you're able to pretty much create your own video game and code it and everything. So maybe there is a possibility for a 3D Mario Maker, considering the fact that Mario Maker is a very simplified version of a level creating game. And maybe, just maybe, they'll give us the potential to make a 3D Mario game. And let me kind of explain the themes and the styles and how this would kind of work. 64 would be more blocky in nature. When I think of 64 game style, I think of Rainbow Ride, where everything was just kind of thrown into the sky randomly. And that's kind of how people's levels would probably look in this game style. It'd be pretty basic, it'd be the basic theme here, just like the original Mario Brothers, where all the platforms, nothing really makes sense, the styles are not that clean, and the graphics are not crazy good yet. But then we move on to, let's say Mario Galaxy, where we have gravity effects, and maybe Nintendo can learn how to have the player implement these things into planetoids, and you can make the planet small or big, and launch stars to go from planet to planet, which would be pretty daggone cool. And obviously you would have probably lastly the 3D world style, which would just be like 64's but more cleaned up and more polished. You'll have grassy platforms, maybe desert platforms and stuff like that, where you can click and piece together maybe just like a giant 3D Lego platform thing. But like I said before, this sounds like something that's just a pipe dream. It's something that won't come until way in the future if it does with better technology. But this would definitely be revolutionary. Do you remember how big the original Mario Maker was when it first was announced and came out? People went crazy at the idea to make their own Mario Maker levels. So now with the ability to make your own 3D Mario Maker levels, people will absolutely lose their minds. Maybe they wait for a while to perfect this too, so maybe the next Mario Maker game is a long ways out. Maybe it doesn't come for another 6 to 7, maybe even 10 years until they can revolutionize this 3D Mario gameplay. This once again is not very likely, so understand that I'm not really expecting this to ever come anytime soon, but still, this is something really cool to think about, and to me, this would be the next coolest thing that they could possibly do for the franchise. But like I stated before, whatever direction they decide to take Mario Maker in will be really cool. If they just keep it a 2D Mario Maker 3, just add a whole bunch of stuff and maybe make it like a giant Mario Maker Deluxe Ultimate version with tons of information, tons of gameplay options, and just everything is just filled to the brim with this cartridge, then it would still be fun. But I would also love to see them completely take Mario Maker to new horizons, not Animal Crossing, but to new heights, and see exactly what they could do with a 3D Mario Maker. But of course, like always, I want to hear your guys' comments. What do you think about this idea? Do you think a 3D Mario Maker is anywhere near being ready? Because I don't, but I really want one. Do you want one as bad as I do? And what type of cool levels do you think you can make with a 3D Mario Maker? And do you think it's going to be as revolutionary as the original Mario Maker was? Let me know in the comments down below. And like always, I'm here for your latest video game news and updates. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on everything that I post. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. See you guys.